was adamant I didn't want to do it. And so there was a plan that was proposed. I liked it, and so here we are. And yet, and to answer the second question, no, Odessa does not have a history of not only not promoting or electing or running conservative minorities, but conservatives, period. One of the things that has been overlooked in this campaign that District 1 City Council member Mark Mata, who is also a Christian Republican conservative, is the first Latino has ran in the predominantly south side of Odessa, which is basically 90% Hispano. And he is the first Hispanic has ran in 30 years, and is the first conservative Republican, open conservative Republican that has won in that district in over 70 years, and it's the first. So we set a lot of goals, and we accomplished a lot of firsts in this election, and I think that's going to continue. It's always hard. It's always hard to be the first,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, is that
Um,
broken down the road. We're here, and the council right now is reflective of the population in Odessa. We have three women on the council. We have two 70-year-old white gentlemen that are on the council, two Hispanics on the council, and one black city councilwoman. So it's very, very reflective of what Odessa represents in today's 2021.
Wow, that's incredible. Mayor, tell us a little bit about your background and your story, and also give us a perspective about Odessa. I'm from Colombia. I'm Colombiana. I came here in 1997. So I hear
You've
about.
never been to Odessa?
I never been to
Oh, dear
Odessa.
Lord.
So what is the population? So tell us a little bit about Odessa, and also I was reading that you're a business owner also.
Yes, I've got two. I got a construction company and a roofing company. Right now, they're not flourishing at the moment. I do have an oil field service company, and that's where I'm doing. That's where I'm at right now. And so my story is real simple. I am the youngest of three. I was born to Jose Ángel Joven Jr. out of Del Rio, Texas. Mi mamá es es de Ciudad Acuña, México, Coahuila, México.
By the way, Mayor,
My mom is.
I was just there last week in Acuña at
Oh, were you?
Manuel's.
I have not been there.
I had lunch at Manuel's in Acuña.
Oh wow, well, I'll tell you one thing. I haven't been there in a very very long time. Really, I think that basically the family I have now is all in Del Rio. No one in Acuña. Mi abuelito era trabajaba por the municipal court or something like that. I can't remember, but he was involved in politics. Um, the story is real simple. My parents met in '52. They got married, moved to California. My brother and my sister were born there. They moved down here for the climate. My brother had an asthma and wind up in Odessa because of the work. I was born in '65. I was born with some disabilities. It took me several surgeries and a lot of rehab, but I lived a very normal life. Attended schools in West Texas in the local area. I basically they were all segregated schools. Uh, the segregation did not reach Odessa until 1982. Justice Department sued the school district where they wind up desegregating. So I predominantly went to minority schools. Odessa has been a reflective of that. It has been behind the curve. It's been not progressive in the civil rights movement. There has been some discrimination to a certain point. But the thing is, I never grew up with that being a crutch. My parents were born in 1930 and 33. And let me tell you, the one thing they said, nadie sufrió como nosotros sufrimos. En la época donde nosotros nacimos, ahorita los jóvenes y los que se han criado en los 70s, 80s, 90s, no sufrieron como sufrieron ellos. Entonces, they never used it as a crutch. They never allowed us to be that. The sky was the limit. And the thing is that we were taught values and sweat equity in order to obtain what we have. And that's what I grew up with. And to this day, my mom, losing my mom this past year in August. And it's real interesting that you said that you came in 1997. My mom was un residente de los Estados Unidos. Y en 1997 su deseo es que quería ser ciudadana.
Hmm.
Entonces, what she wind up doing is I took her to go to El Paso to get uh, the test, and she passed it. She became a citizen, and so in 1998 was the first time she was able to vote as an American citizen.
Good for
And
her.
in that vote, yeah, and when she cast her vote, her first vote was in a municipal race, and her first vote was for her son in re-election for the city council.
You know,
And
What
I,
an
yeah,
honor.
it's her story. And sorry if I get a little emotional, but losing my mom was very tough. And so, in the midst of this election, I lost my mom.
yeah. Well, we're
And
obviously, it sounds like your mother still lives on through you, Mayor. I mean, obviously, she instilled her values on you. But I got to share with you a similar story. I became the first immigrant Hispanic ever elected citywide in the city of Houston. I was also the first immigrant Hispanic ever elected countywide outside the judiciary in Harris County. But my father was the same way. My father died 2 days before his 90th birthday, and he lived in the United States for over 50 years as a green card holder, as a legal resident, permanent resident of the United States. But I think he felt that he needed to vote for me, so he became a U.S. citizen. And federal judge Lynn Hughes came to city council, city hall, and swore my father in. And one of the things my dad was able to do before he passed away was to vote for his son for the third term of the Houston City Council. So I understand the emotion. I understand what an honor it is to become a citizen and be able to have your parent vote for you. We have that in common. And I was listening to you. I just want to go back a bit into politics, because listening to you and what you said about what your mother said, that que nadie ha sufrido
Lo que
como
nosotros hemos sufrido.
lo que nosotros hemos sufrido, like the Mexican Americans did in the state of Texas, because you know Andrea's Colombian, I'm Cuban, and our experience is completely different than the Mexican Americans in Texas. The Mexican Americans in Texas went through a really tough time. I mean, there were poll taxes, and they were treated almost as poorly as the African American community, and people don't understand that. And what's interesting to me, Mayor, and I want to know from you, is how do you grow up where you have to struggle for your civil rights, for your constitutional rights as a U.S. citizen, and have your parents struggle like they did, and you go to segregated schools, but yet today you're one of the leading forces in conservatism in the state of Texas. How does that work? In other words, how did you come to the conclusion that you're not a leftist, liberal Democrat, but on the other hand, you're a conservative, in spite of what you went through personally with your family?
it's it's very simple, and I tell this to everyone. And when I have the opportunity to talk to other Hispanics, it's simply this: I refuse to be a victim. The left will always tell me that I am a victim for the reason of because of the situation that you just outlined, the poll tax and things of that situation. And the thing is that my parents refused to be victimized. And they continue to work for the American dream, and they put the American dream for me in a religious perspective. Is that they've always said is that the American dream, and a lot of people may disagree with this, but my parents' ideology has always been is God comes first. And the thing is that they always said the American dream is ideology disguised as success. And so the thing is, they always put their faith in God, and you work for God first before you walk, and then you're able to work for others. And that's how I approached my life, my politics, and raising my family. And so it was. I refuse to be a victim in anything. I don't believe in the victimization of social injustice or inequality in pay. The thing is that my father was out on the street. He comes from a family of 22. He was working by the age 11. He was organizing farm workers. He was, and he did that until he was in his mid 20s. And so he realized that he could make a lot more money by organizing the workers and being able to get a percentage of what everyone made rather than a penny by the bushel. my father in building the construction companies and the roofing companies in the early 70s, did his own type of economic development. All the workers that he had were primarily from Mexico, helped them become citizens, and in the end, he taught them to be able to have something of their own, that they were never going to get ahead by working for others. And did I freeze up?
No, no, you're good.
And okay, and so basically is that he taught them the skills that they needed for them to be able to own their own companies, even though they competed against us. But it was that kind of upbringing that allowed me be able to, and this is what I tell many elected officials, whether at the national level or state level, is that do not come into, when you're speaking with minorities, Hispanos, regardless of where they come from, their ethnicity or their origin of nation and land, is that one message. And that message is, we here in Texas, and especially up here in West Texas, is that we want border security, we want safe roads, we want affordable health care, but not it to be. It needs to be in capitalism. We want the lowest taxes possible. We believe in capitalism. We believe in sweat equity. We believe in the defense. These type of values are basically go across genders, ethnicity. And the thing is that one thing that's always bothered me is that a customized message to Hispanics every 4 years, and as if border security only matters during presidential elections.
Right.
They matter all the time. And
There's no
so, and
question.
it's
Yeah.
that type of upbringing mindset that is led me to be where I am, and people were able to relate. I wind up 3 points behind in a three-person race for mayor, and then I was came from behind and won my race by a 62% to 39
That's a
over a
landslide.
gentleman. Yeah, and that's what I've tried to tell everybody. That is a mandate, and I ran against a banker, a 8-year incumbent on the city council, and let me tell you, it was very satisfying, and
Mayor, let me
the
ask
outcome was
you.
resolute.
I heard, and you can talk about this if you like. I heard that
Okay.
you know back in 1995 when I was a city councilman in the city of Houston, we were led by a mayor by the name of Lee Brown. He used to be the former police commissioner in New York and police chief in Atlanta and police chief in Houston and former drug czar of the United States. But he came up with this crazy idea because this was a movement in California to create a sanctuary city in Houston. And there's no ordinance that says that Houston is a sanctuary city, but it's sort of a wink and nod policy. I understand you created a sanctuary city in Odessa. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, it's not a creation. Basically, what happens when we got into the runoff, it I had been censored by the media. I have always been an advocate for for life, and so basically, I laid it out that I wanted to create a sanctuary city for the unborn, a safe haven, and outlaw abortion in Odessa. 18 cities throughout the Texas have already done this. There's going to be a May 1st election as the citizens in Lubbock have put it on the ballot. And so this is something that we are pushing in a city of over 120, 140,000 would be the right now would be the biggest unless Lubbock does it first. And so
Yeah.
it, and so that's basically what I have been advocating and pushing, and the work continues. And I put that in the campaign. And this is not this is it wasn't a campaign platform. We did three things here in Odessa immediately after the election when we won in the runoff. We had a day of prayer, repentance, and fasting. And the second thing I did, I made a proclamation. We declared City of Odessa and Ector County where God is Lord and He rules, and that's what we serve first. God cannot put blessings on the land, on our nation, our state, and our city until we repent. And so those were the two things of what I call my three-legged stool platform. The third would be outlawing abortion in Odessa, Texas.
It's interesting, and for those of us that are watching, Andrea, you'll remember this because you covered the city council, but uh, sanctuary cities in urban areas like Houston generally means that uh, we were not going to engage in helping the federal government with deportation,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
of
yeah.
illegal aliens that are criminals. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Once you're arrested, you should be deported. If you're coming here illegally and you're committing a crime, you should be deported. I mean, I think everybody universally agrees with that, except these urban cities that have declared themselves as sanctuary cities for illegal aliens.
Correct.
And so the mayor created a sanctuary city for life for the unborn, which I thought that was pretty interesting.
Mayor, I have a question. So you're making history for sure, and you say that it's so hard to be the first, but of course, it's not going to be the last one. What you guys are planning to do? I know you have a lot of work as a mayor right now, but after you finish your term as a mayor, hopefully you get reelected. What are you guys doing, you and the community over there in Odessa, to not be this the last person to be an official elector? The Latinos, we need more our voice, we need more leaders, and we need more representation.
Well, what we've done here locally is we still continue to recruit. We recruiting for and it's not just Hispanos. We're looking for conservatives, and they have to be Hispanos, even better for myself. But we're still doing our recruitment more for city council. We're putting them creating positions on our local Republican, Ector County Republican board and party for volunteers. We do training. We're recruiting for our hospital board, our school board, our college board, our county commissioners board, uh, doing outreach to the east, to the west, to the south, to the north, and connecting with other elected officials, Hispanos, and other Republican parties, Republican women groups. And so it's creating a network and basically sharing our plan and the vision. And because the thing is everywhere throughout West Texas and the plains all the way up to Lubbock and Amarillo, the Hispanic population is huge. And in most places, it's a majority minority county. And so they're wanting to know what we've been doing the last 10 years. And we, we're limited in time, but nonetheless, I have been on the phone in San Angelo. We have in Fort Stockton, Monahans, Pecos, Lubbock, Amarillo,
Brewster.
Arlington. And so we're just sharing what we've done in the last 10 years, and networking and networking and networking, and basically saying is that you have to engage, and you can't do it just for election time. It's constantly, every day, every week, every month, year after year after year. You just got to keep pounding the rock with your hammer until you break it. It's not one hit, but it is the thousand before that last one that cracks it. And that's how you're going to have to approach it. And that's how you're going to be able to maintain. And if we as responders don't do that, the thing is, it's our fault.
That's right.
Mayor, we have a question from our viewers. As Rafael Bejar, a friend also of the Texas Latino Conservatives, he said, "What is the mayor Joven thought on the closure of Keystone Pipeline and general assault on U.S. energy?"
Well, it's definitely hit me right away. But and the thing is that you know we hear we don't like the fact because we lost 20,000 jobs right away. We're going to get sued by Canada, but nonetheless, there's been a lot of questions whether Texas could take up and complete the pipeline, and it is a federal issue. Uh, the ramifications is, even what's happened in New Mexico, where they're not with an executive action 60-day moratorium where nothing is being signed, change orders on permits, even though we bundled up many permits ahead of time anticipating this was going to happen. The residual is that my business has increased because everything's shifting into Texas, especially when I'm just a tenth away up from the New Mexico border. So definitely it's not a good thing, but the side effect is that here in Texas we're going to be able to benefit somewhat, for the reason is that we're primarily private. But let me even make this point with the executive action that President Biden took. It doesn't only just hurt federal land not being able to drill at this moment, but it also does not. It basically affects Indian reservations as well. And so there is a lot of cumulative damage that is taking place right now. But the thing is that we've gone through this. We
Yeah,
will
Mayor, but
continue to
that
get
that
through this.
fits right into the left's strategy. In other words, for example, if they eliminate drilling and exploration in federal lands and reservations, you create more victims instead of having. Our Native Americans be self-sufficient and participate in the free
Sure.
market and become drillers and transporters of pipe and uh, they're going to look to the federal government for more cheese, right? That's the mission of the Democrats and the left is to create victims and to look to the federal government to provide el chequecito todos los meses para que
Yes.
usted pueda comer. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, be dependent on the government plantation is
Right.
exactly correct. And the thing is that and people need to be really aware that that's exactly what it is. They want for government to be their god, and that is the wrong way to go. You're and the thing is that I it, it just it just blows all of our mind here in West Texas of what um, everybody that voted for this presidency of what they thought what they were getting with this, and so it is disheartening to see. But we knew it was coming down,
Yeah.
and but nonetheless, we have to deal with it, and we've overcome so much. We were hit with the pandemic, we were hit with the. I mean, at one point, if you guys realize, we were negative $37 per barrel in May of last year,
You're right.
and we overcame all of that. And so we're going to continue to strive, and we as an American people, we as Texans, we as West Texans, we're not going to stop. We were leading the nation in oil production, and we're going to continue to do that. One thing that we do have to be very careful, not only what the executive session, but under the Obama administration, this Biden administration is going to do to come to for private drillings. They're going to weaponize the Department of Interior to find ways by declaring a species or plants and put them on the endangered species list, and
Right.
that is the way they're going to attack us. And we're prepared for that, and we will definitely overcome it. Governor Abbott was down here in West Texas and signed a lot of executive orders that we're going to basically start issuing lawsuits and not allow the federal government and Biden administration to try to shut us down.
Good for you. Well, Mayor, look, we know you're a hardworking Tejano. We are honored that you took time out of your schedule today out on the high plains on the border of New Mexico to spend a few minutes with us and tell us what's going on up in Odessa. We look forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks, and we want to invite you back. So whenever you have something to share with us, make sure you reach out to Texas Latino Conservatives. Also, follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends. We do this every week,
Definitely
and
will.
we'd like to perhaps when we come up to Odessa, maybe have you live and in person. And so keep up the good work. We're proud of Tejanos like you, Mexican Americans that have worked through, as your mother said, so much, suffered so much with respect to discrimination and the lack of being able to enjoy the civil rights guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. And in spite of that, you guys are still hardworking Americans, Texans that contribute to the economy, contribute to your community. So we're very proud of you. It's been a real honor to have you. Andrea, despídete del alcalde.
Alcalde, muchas gracias por haber aceptado nuestra invitación, por habernos dado su tiempo, media hora de su tiempo ahí en su oficina móvil. Y por favor, vaya a su Facebook, comparta este en vivo para que su comunidad también nos vea y para enviar ese mensaje a toda nuestra comunidad latina aquí en el estado de Texas. Muchas gracias.
Enjoy your
Yes,
day, Mayor.
yes, but and let and keep defending the Republic of Texas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, well, what an honor, huh?
Oh my God,
From
what a story.
and I didn't ask him, but his office is probably a Ford F-250. I hope he's not a Chevrolet guy.
What a story. I love it. And you know what? Today we're going to try to do
Again?
what we did, I guess it was two shows ago. Allow people to join us live and ask questions and share their thoughts about our show or about whatever they feel like sharing their thoughts. No, I mean with respect, because if it's
Yeah.
not respectful, well, we're gonna just take you out of the call. But if you go to the description, and I think let me ask the producer Mark, if we have the link in the description. Okay, so if you go to the description, it's gonna be a link. You just click on the link, and it's gonna take you to live with us. It's like in a call. You just get into your phone, and the producer is going to allow you to be live with us, so you can talk to us, you can share your thoughts, and with respect.
Yeah, remember, this is a G-rated family program, so we don't care if you have an opposing opinion. We don't care if you're a liberal, socialist, left-leaning Democrat that wants to kill jobs in Texas, hates oil, wants to stop exploration, wants to create dependency in the state of Texas so we can all get a box of cheese.
We don't care about that.
Yeah, right? Call in. We'd love to have that conversation with you, but, I got to tell you, there's a tide of conservative Tejanos, Mexican Americans, Latinos, immigrants in the state of Texas that have had it about up to here with the liberal left's message. It ain't working. All you guys had to do is look at the last election in 2020 down in South Texas. Y'all are still scratching your head why all these Mexican Americans are voting conservative. You just saw the mayor of Odessa, Texas, which is heavily dependent not only on the oil industry, but on cotton and farming. These are people that work the earth. They're just as conservative environmentally as you leftists are, but they want to be independent. They want to determine their children's future. They want to pick their own education. They want to pick their own doctor. They want to pick their own church, what community to live in, what temperature to set their thermostat, what kind of truck, whether they want to buy electric or gas powered or diesel powered. That's Texas values. We want to make our own choices. And so we do welcome opposing views, but remember, make sure that it's G-rated. So
again, if you go to the description of
are
this
you
live,
rolling your eyes at my
I'm
long-winded
laughing. You make me laugh so much. I love it. I love that speech. But if you go to the description of this video or this live, you're going to see a link. Just click on the link, and that way you get into the call, and then our producer is going to bring you live with us, and we can discuss any subject that you guys like. We have Mr. Orlando. He is by opinion, but he also can answer your questions.
Well, I hope to.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, Andrea,
So I got a lot of comments.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
wanna tell you this. I got a lot of good comments about our show last Wednesday that we have the honor to have Chingo Bling, and people were telling me like, "Wow, I didn't know about his story. I didn't know about his views. I love when he said that a year and a half ago, which is recently, he started like really reading and getting deep into politics and understand better the situation, and he became a conservative. And he was no, he became no, he realized that he was conservative."
Right.
No, not that he became, but he realized that he became a conservative. So people were telling me like, we need more Chingo Blings.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want the government cheese either.
That was awesome.
He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He's, he's got a recording label. He's a stand-up great comedian. He's a Houstonian. He's up by the bootstraps in Houston, Texas. And that's what we do here at Texas Latino Conservatives. We're trying to show the state of Texas that, just because we're Hispanics, because we're from Mexico or from Cuba or Colombia or Peru or Guatemala or El Salvador or Nicaragua, we're not dependent on the government. We're here to contribute. We're here to work. We're here to make our own decisions, and we're realizing that's conservatism in Texas. And we hope the Republican Party across the state of Texas wakes up and realizes that they probably need more people like Chingo Bling and Mayor Javier Joven and Orlando Sanchez and Andrea Gomez and Freddie, Mr. Pacheco down in Clear Lake, and Freddie Arellano down in Maverick County, and Luisa del Rosal in Dallas, and all of the conservative Latinos in the state of Texas.
Monica
Down in the Harlingen area.
Okay, so remind me her. I'm very bad with names.
Bueno, eso es lo que le decimos la vejez.
Well,
La gente se olvida.
yeah. I mean, in 2 years I'm gonna be 50, so I'm starting like losing
don't
my.
say that. I mean,
It's fine.
everybody thinks you're 32.
No, I'm so proud of my age. It's fine.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I had to make her feel good this morning because I told her she's like fine wine.
So
Yeah.
I'm very proud of my age. But yeah, Monica remember the last name?
No me
Monica.
acuerdo. I
Okay.
mean, we got seven.
But
I'm older than you. How
She's
much?
running. She's running for U.S. for Texas Congress or U.S. Congress.
There's no Texas Congress, really. There's a Texas House and the Texas Senate.
Well, okay,
You're
the
thinking
U.S.
U.S.
Congress.
Congress.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it because really, Mónica de la Cruz. You see, mira,
Monica's watching?
I love you, Rafa. I love you, Rafael Bejar.
Oh.
Mónica de la Cruz.
TPPF is paying off. Texas Public Policy
Thank
Foundation.
you, Rafa, for paying attention and for helping me out on that.
Rafa Bejar is a paisano. He's a Cuban immigrant.
And he said that he's gonna come. He wants to come to join us live in our show. So we need to.
Okay, we've had him on before. He can't hog all of our time.
Well,
Well, anyway, Texas Public Policy Foundation is a nonprofit organization in Texas. It's essentially sort of a think tank that produces a lot of policy positions for Texans. It's available for any Texan. And they also they do a great service in the Texas legislature every 2 years when we have the Texas House and the Texas Senate meeting in Austin, which thank God is once every 2 years, which is going on now, the legislative session. Texas Public Policy Foundation actually testifies before committees and provides information to senators and legislators on policy positions, whether it's taxation, whether it's health care, whether it's creating tax increment reinvestment zones across the state of Texas, whether it's quality education. Texas Public Policy Foundation provides an essential service in Texas. They're based out of Austin, but and we're very proud because we have a lot of friends involved in TPPF. Richard Johnson, who is a former aide to a dear friend of mine, African-American city councilman. Richard Johnson heads up their outreach and public policy positions for TPPF. So Rafa Bejar, Richard Johnson are two folks that are working really hard to get the conservative message out to diverse communities in Texas.
Well,
Me estás mirando como soy un poco...
No, well, after you said that we cannot bring Rafa because we already
No,
have
no,
him,
Rafa,
Rafa, I'm gonna bring you
Yeah, well,
regardless.
we
Rafa,
can-
I'm gonna
we-
bring you.
We can bring Rafa in for a
Yeah,
little bit.
he's so much fun.
Yeah.
And
So-
he always with his big hat.
Yeah, I think he's like a Floridian, but I guess he adopted Texas. Anyway, here's what I want to talk about. A lot of people are watching, because what the most important thing in the nation right now is making sure that we impeach a private citizen
Yeah.
and former president, right? The hell with COVID, the hell with people dying,
Yeah.
and the fact that we can't get the vaccine distribution organized,
They
now,
cannot get it over. I don't
what
understand.
what was his promise? 100 million in the first 100 days, and we're it's just ridiculous.
I know.
So the big important thing in Washington D.C.
Yeah, today's the
is
second
spending
day.
time with Trump, right? Okay, so but what's interesting
He
is
keeps getting attention.
I know he keeps getting instead of ignoring him and
I
forgetting
know.
about him.
No,
I mean he's
getting what he wants. He was
he's-
looking
he's
for
front
that.
and center.
Yeah.
So, but what's interesting, here's what's fascinating to me, and I got a call from my former chief of staff at City Hall in Houston, and he says, were you watching this fiasco in Washington, this impeachment yesterday? I said, no, not really. But what was interesting is that he shared with me, because all the news outlets, because news nowadays is not news.
No.
It's somebody puts out a Twitter, a tweet, and then all the news agencies copy that. That's
Yeah,
how lazy they are.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're the producers in news today are 27-year-olds that don't understand that we have a constitution in the United States that actually identifies what's called the separation of powers. We have three co-equal branches of government. We have the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. Well, yesterday, all these news agencies are reporting that Chuck Schumer, a senator, the majority leader in the Senate, declared that the impeachment is constitutional. Now, you know who usually determines whether procedures and laws are constitutional or not in this country, Andrea?
Tell me.
The judiciary. So we're becoming like Venezuela. Oh, the hell with that branch of government, the judiciary. The Senate has declared that it is now, and Chuck Schumer in particular, that the impeachment of a private citizen is constitutional. I'm going to be
You know what
really
is fun?
interested to see what the 9 members of the Supreme Court think when that goes to them.
You know what is funny, Orlando? And I get that from my family and relatives and friends that lives in Colombia and other friends that has family in other countries, and they said like, it's ridiculous what is going on these days in the United States because we've been running away from all of those things that we see all the time in our countries, and now apparently we are follow them.
Yeah.
We are follow our countries.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Well, we got Hugo Chavez, Chuck Schumer in the Senate, and so it's all about passing
We're
out.
going backwards.
It's about passing.
Como los cangrejos decimos en mi país.
It's all about passing out the government cheese, and they think that because our population, at least in Texas, is becoming more Latino, more Hispanic, because we're 40%, that we all want the government cheese, and they're wrong. I mean, we want independence, we want jobs, we want, as the mayor of Odessa just said, we want access to health care, good health care, but we want to decide our own doctors. We don't want the government to tell us, and we don't want it subsidized by other people. We want to pay out of our pocket for medical services, but we want medical services to participate just like the hamburger industry does. The free market. The free market is a beautiful thing. When radiologists and oncologists and endocrinologists compete for services, the prices come down. But unfortunately, you've got the government, regulation, and insurance companies and hospitals. It's a monopoly. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it's a disaster. Let medicine, let education in the state of Texas compete in the free market. The free market, as Milton Friedman used to say at the University of Chicago, is a beautiful thing.
And I love when he said, the mayor said, I refuse to be a victim.
Right.
That is the key, because legal or illegal, with or without documents, I see the immigrants, the majority, I'm not going to say everybody, because, I mean, that will be generalized and exaggerate probably, but I will see the majority.
We call that anecdotal observation.
But I said the majority, they come here, and they're not looking for leave out of the government. The first thing that they tell you is like, can you help me to find a job?
Right.
And with or without documents, even if they cross the border walking, like, can you help me to find a job?
Right.
I need a job.
And then you have liberal organizations, a nonprofit that says, "Oh, we'll help you get on welfare.
Yeah.
We'll help
Why?
you. We'll help you. Get free government health care." I mean,
nothing is
that's
for
not.
free.
That's
who said that is free?
That's not what us immigrants are here for. We're here to become Americans. We want to be accommodated. We want to live under the beautiful Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We eventually want to become U.S. citizens. We eventually want to participate civically in every aspect, but we're not here for the government cheese, for God's sake. And that's what's, and I hope Republicans wake up and realize that there's only one place the Republican Party in Texas can grow, and that is in the Latino community.
Yeah,
and
correct.
So that's what we do. We don't tell you how to vote, although our title is Texas Latino Conservatives. You make that decision yourself. But as you can see, there's a multiplicity of conservative Latinos in the state of Texas. Now, if you want to participate, Andrea says there's a link. I'm not as technically savvy as my colleague here.
You go in the description on top of this live, and you're going to see a link. It's something that is very highlight with different letters. So you just click on that, and our producer is going to bring you here live with us. Hopefully we have somebody brave.
Well, I was going to say, hopefully the ladies watching us are in, putting on makeup and fixing their hair, and the guys are out shaving and because I'm
doesn't
sure
matter, guys.
We don't care what you look like. Just come on the program.
En inglés o en español, it doesn't matter.
Claro que sí.
Si quieres conversar en inglés, en español, aquí se te tiene, lo que sea.
Lo que usted quiera. Si tiene cualquier inquietud y tiene una pregunta sobre COVID, la educación, la salud, aquí estamos disponibles para ayudarlos, porque aquí estamos es un servicio para ayudar a la comunidad. We don't care what your legal status is. We certainly don't have CBP here. But that doesn't mean we're promoting illegal immigration. That's another misconception. People don't realize that even the farm worker Chavez, what was his name? And God, are we getting old? What's his name? What's her name?
Who's Chavez?
The farm worker leader in California.
So Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez hated illegal immigration because it was hurting the workers, the migrant workers that were already in the California fields. So they maybe at the time were making $5 an hour, but the illegal immigrants were coming across saying, "Well, we'll charge 350." So Cesar Chavez even understood that you can't have illegal immigration in a country that is participating in the free market because it damages the wages that the existing residents of California are earning. So
And I was
and
like,
so that's our position. We're against illegal immigration, and we don't care if you have to build a wall, if you have to put the U.S. Army down there, if you have to grow the Customs and Border Patrol numbers and ranks. As Chingo Bling said, it was kind of funny,
what is that?
because he said he went to Mexico and he came back and he went through a border patrol checkpoint and it was a Mexican asking the Mexican all these questions about whether you're a legal citizen or a resident. I think that's hilarious. It's
Well,
true.
yeah, yeah. So another thing that I love about our guest today, the mayor Joven, bueno, he's joven. He
He's
is
very
joven, and
joven.
nosotros estamos como ya viejos.
Joven and handsome.
Joven and
He probably
handsome.
got a full head of hair. The only thing I didn't like is I think he was wearing a Dallas, Texas Cowboys
Oh.
hat.
Why you don't like it?
Well, we're in Houston. We got it.
Well, but it's a good
We got
team.
but we're called the Texans.
Nah,
We're
well,
the
yeah.
we're an encompassing football team. Hopefully, we'll have a better team this year.
Hopefully, we always
But
always hope.
our name
It's
is the
always a hope.
Texans. It's more encompassing.
So what that he said that his mom came to this country. I put it a point that I came 1997, and I share the same feeling like she had. The first thing that I wanted when I came to this country, it was become a U.S. citizen, and I was so excited to vote, so excited to vote. And the first thing, when I find out that I was pregnant with twins, that was 2004, and that was the same day that I was gonna go to the citizenship ceremony. So I became a U.S. citizen the same day that the doctor told me, congratulations. I already knew that I was pregnant. Congratulations, they're twins. So it was a triple happiness for me because I became a U.S. citizen. I find out that I was pregnant with twins, and I left the ceremony and, tables outside asking you if you want to register to vote. And that was the first thing I did. And since then, every time I just vote, and
What year
especially
was that?
because I wanted to vote for you, Orlando.
That was my next
That was-
question. Did you vote for me on the city council and mayor of the city of Houston?
And also for a treasure. Of course.
I like that.
Of course.
A liberal-
we were friends already.
And you worked at Univision.
I was working at Univision.
Trabajabas con
in
los
that time.
izquierdistas Univision.
In that
y
time, they were
votaste-
not that bad.
No, they weren't. They were very good.
They were not
They
that
were
bad.
very good.
Let's give them credit.
I give credit to Univision. Back in the 1990s, they were very involved, in especially here in Houston, Channel 45, covered municipal issues
I was there every week.
extensively.
I was there every
They've
week.
checked
Remember,
out
that's
now.
how we met.
Yeah.
I was there every week covering city council.
Yeah.
I was there every
And now they're promoting government cheese.
No. And I was, And I was also covering Commissioner's Court.
Yes.
I was working also covering.
Oh, Channel 45 in Houston, Univision doesn't even know what Commissioner's Court is.
No, nobody covered that anymore. But
Well,
that was
unless
so
Lena
important.
comes out with a big leftist
Well,
position,
yeah.
more government cheese.
And with the mask with the different colors.
Yeah. So I've been getting a lot of calls. I've been meeting a lot of chairmen and chairwomen across the state of Texas for the Republican Party because they are reaching out to us. And we're happy to meet with the leadership of the Democrats if they want to reach out to us and find out more about conservatism, but the phone isn't ringing. But the Republican leadership is calling, and a couple of common questions are coming up. How do we get more Latinos, more Tejanos involved in the Republican leadership in the state of Texas? And the answer is it's hard work, but it's outreach. You've got to go out and invest time in those communities. Here's what I'm telling a lot of folks. And by the way, urban Texas is completely different than rural Texas. So, but for urban areas like Dallas County, Harris County, Fort Bend County, Bexar County, one of the ideas that I had many, many years ago, and frankly, I'm going to give some credit to Gary Pollan, the former chairman of the Republican Party of Harris County. We came up with this idea that the Republican Party ought to host a citizenship forum.
Okay.
Okay, and so that the Republican Party of Harris County, for example, this can be done in Dallas County, can find volunteer lawyers, volunteer law enforcement, maybe local constables to come and fingerprint people, and help people that are eligible to become U.S. citizens, following the law, to fill out the paperwork and answer questions. And what keeps a lot of eligible people from becoming U.S. citizens that are conservative is the inability to pay for the legal fees on top of the application fee.
Yeah.
So if the Republican Party of Harris County could host a forum for legal aliens. I used to be a legal alien before I became a naturalized U.S. citizen. So are you.
Now you're alien.
No, I'm a citizen. I'm a naturalized United States citizen. But anyway, so, that's one way to reach out to the community and to begin to repair the image that the liberal left media has created of Republican parties in Texas and across the country, because they portray the Republican Party as being anti-immigrant. Nothing could be further from the truth. Most Republicans are pro-legal immigration. Let me repeat that. Almost 99.9% of Republicans, conservatives, are pro-legal immigration. And so as the mayor of Odessa just said, we're not for illegal immigration. And so there are plenty of counties in Texas that can help eligible legal aliens apply for citizenship. That begins to repair the image that Republicans are against legal immigration. And so there are some more ideas that we have that we'll share with Republican leadership across the state of Texas. Here's another idea that I have, and I'll put it out today because we're about to run out of time. I know you're going to say I'm hogging all the time.
No, you never.
The Republican Party was founded up in Wisconsin for one reason and one reason only, for the elimination of slavery in the United States. And the culmination of that grand achievement was Juneteenth. It's celebrated in June in Texas. It was the announcement by federal troops in Galveston, Texas, that slaves were free. Juneteenth should be celebrated by Republicans across the state of Texas. So the chairman of the Republican Party of Texas is Colonel, we have to pay respect to his military service, Colonel Allen West, an African American.
Yeah.
Colonel West, we know you watch Texas Latino Conservatives live every Wednesday.
He does?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, Chairman West, Colonel West, you need to organize the biggest Republican rally in Galveston County, Texas this year to celebrate Juneteenth, which is the culmination of the victories won by the Republicans beginning with Abraham Lincoln. Isn't that a great idea?
Amazing.
I'd go to that event and celebrate Juneteenth.
We need to do...
Richard Johnson, if you're watching TTPF, y'all organize that with Allen West. Let's have a massive celebration in Galveston, Texas, Juneteenth, celebrating the final days and the announcement of freedom, and that African Americans and everybody in this country will live under the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States.
Amen. But that's not the only thing that we should do. I mean, besides this show, besides that idea, and besides so many things, we need to do a lot. And I'm gonna read a comment.
Okay, comment.
I'm gonna read a comment from one of our dear friends, also businessman from Mexico, Juan Fidalgo. He said, "Great job, Orlando and Andrea. We need to make sure liberals do not infect Texas with their nonsense."
Oh no, yeah, we have antibiotics for that.
And
we have antiseptics.
do we have the vaccine?
Yeah, we even have vaccines against liberalism. So If you want to be vaccinated, come to one of our events. By the way, we used to do a monthly Plática and Politics. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Texas Latino Conservatives was hosting a series of monthly meetings called Plática and Politics. Unfortunately, a lot of the good stuff that we were doing, that got the kibosh when the COVID-19 hit. We also have a very successful and something I'm really proud of called our Tough Tejano Award every year.
Now we need to add a new event, Jornada de Vacunación.
Jornada de vacunación contra los izquierdistas.
Contra los liberales. Izquierdistas. Jornada de vacunación.
I like that. I couldn't have said that. My Spanish isn't as good as
¿Y cómo
yours.
lo dices en inglés?
Jornada.
Jornada.
¿Qué es jornada?
Jornada is like a journey.
A journey.
Ajá.
Oh.
Como
well,
a vaccination
journey.
Vaccination journey.
Yeah.
La
We're going to go across the
vacunación.
state of Texas and vaccinate everybody that wants to be vaccinated against liberalism.
We should create an event like that for real.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Free tamales.
Free tamales.
And then Chingo Blink can bring his
free
Mexican
vaccination.
tamales, and I'll bring my Cuban tamales.
And free vaccination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're down to the last 2 minutes. I'm going to give you, I'm
Please
hogging all the
visit
time.
us in TexasLatinoConservatives.com, TexasLatinoConservatives.com. Not only watch us every Wednesday in TLC live at 11, más o menos, but please become a member, be part of this family, help us to help and grow the community, and please help us with this big commitment that we have with the Texas, with the state of Texas. Nosotros los latinos somos más, los mejores somos más, y los buenos somos más. So we need to get together.
Necesitamos escuchar la voz del conservador latino y tienen que participar más en el proceso político y tienen que inscribirse a votar también.
Totalmente.
So, and Andrea won't make this appeal because, go to our website. Everything you see in here, these microphones,
Conservatives.
yeah, we need sponsors. So if you're a clothier in Texas and you want us to wear your suits and dresses and you want,
I have plenty of clothes. I have a lot. I have 3 closets.
Okay, well, I could use a.
Yeah. You can use it.
Yeah. So anyway, we gladly will take sponsors. We'll showcase your clothing.
But I will be good.
But all of this costs money. So if you like what we're doing, reaching out to Latinos in the state of Texas and sharing our conservative values, make a donation. I don't care if it's $5, $10, or $75. Go to TexasLatinoConservatives.com and hit the donate button. Also, you'll see a lot of our press releases. You'll see El Chisme, which is our monthly newsletter. You'll see our Leadership Latino, which are seminars that we conduct across the state of Texas where we educate, we motivate, we train the next wave of conservative leaders in the state of Texas. They're young people that are eager to lead the state of Texas. And Andrea, I'm always amazed how many young conservatives are on Texas. So go to our website, TexasLatinoConservatives.com. Check us out, make a contribution, and we'll see you guys next week. We're out of time.
And if you like this information, if you like this video, please like us and share this video with all the family and friends in your Facebook. Nos vemos el próximo miércoles.
Hasta la semana que viene.